Good morning, everybody. As the coffee's brewing behind me, I'm going to make my loaded oatmeal at Janet's request. And I have a pan for the oatmeal and a pan for the fruit that I add on top. I'm just going to put the heat on both pans at about a little above medium. And to the little pan, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter. Well, not even that. Well, it might be about a tablespoon. A pat. Remember when they used to say a pat? It's about that thick of a chunk of butter. I'm going to put that in the fruit pan, okay? Alright, and then in the other pan that's warming up here, I'm going to put the amount of milk that it calls for on the Quaker box and I'm using old-fashioned oats. So for 2 servings, so Scott and I each get a bowl, you use 1 3/4 cup. And I always shake this really well before I use it. And this is the unsweetened almond milk, no flavor. It doesn't have any vanilla in it or anything like that. It's just unsweetened almond milk. Now if you want that vanilla flavor, you can get vanilla, but we don't care for it. It takes away from the flavor of the fruit later. Alright, so we're going to let those heat up. And then while that milk is getting heated up, the butter has melted, as you see. Sorry about the lighting in here, you guys. I've got just Walmart's brand frozen peaches, and it's supposed to have 3 servings in here, but what I do is I use half of the package for both of us, and then that gives us the other half for another day. Okay, put that in there. We're just going to put the lid on the peaches. Might could add a little bit more peaches. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to turn that down a little bit lower now that the butter's melted to just a little below medium on my electric range. This is the darkest room in the house, I think. And they're all dark. Alright. When this starts to look like it's getting a little steam flow coming up from it, remember this is still at just above medium. It's at like a 6 on my stove here. And this spoon is our oatmeal spoon, and it's stained with blueberry. So I'm never going to get that blue off from this wooden spoon. Alright, and I stir it while it's heating just to break the surface tension. While it's coming on up to heat, I'll measure out 1 cup. This is the kind I get. The Quaker's old-fashioned whole grain oats. I just have a cup of it. I'm still waiting for this to show signs that it's warmed up. It's almost there. You'll start to see just a little steam rising. See it? That's when you add the oats. And I'm going to put this up on top of the fridge again. And I always gently stir it as I'm pouring the oats in because I despise lumps in cereal. I've never liked lumps in my cereal. The whole texture of lumps just creeps me out. Alright, so now it's got the steam coming up, it's got the oats in it. Now you set your timer for 6 minutes. and you let it cook. I might come back down to like a 5 on this burner here. I use the same spoon for both the cereal and the fruit. I stir this just a little bit in between to make sure all the peaches get defrosted. Alright, and once that gets down, the oatmeal is cooked, I'll add just some cinnamon, ground cinnamon, with the peaches, and I just eyeball it and shake in probably about a teaspoon, or maybe even as much as 2 teaspoons. Looks like I need more cinnamon. And I put that on the fruit, and I take the knife I used to cut the butter to put in there, and I cut the peaches up in the pan, and so they're in kind of bite-sized pieces. I'll put my oatmeal in the bowls, and then once this is cut up and the cinnamon is added, I top that on top of the oatmeal, and then I'll put a tablespoon of this on top of each bowl. And this is available at Walmart, and it's where the flax seed and the chai seed, and then they have this trilogy of seed, which is flax, chai, and hemp, and it is delicious on your cereal. Okay, I also get at Walmart, they have a mixed fruit blend that has peaches, pineapple, mango, and strawberries in it. That is very tasty. We don't get that one very often because pineapple will run your blood sugar way up, but as a treat, every once in a while I'll grab it. And we've used blueberries, we've used dried cranberries, and I put the cranberries in the butter just like that. Now I want to make a note of why I'm using butter with the peaches. I have a vitamin I have to take for my eyes because I have macular problems. The black part of your eye, I have some holes developing basically in my macula. So I'm taking a vitamin that has to have fat to break down. That's why I add the butter to the peaches. It gives it a little flavor too. As you hear this bubbling and stuff, give it a stir. And when it gets to be about just 2 minutes left on the oatmeal, that's when I'll add the cinnamon, actually. So it has time to meld a little bit with the peaches and peach juice. And I figured I'd do this in real time just to show you how pretty quick it is to have breakfast, even with old-fashioned oats. Now I'm going to go ahead and get me a cup of coffee because it's ready over here. Drinking out of my Pink Poodle Crafts mug. Pink Poodle Crafts. Woohoo! At one time, Stacy was selling mugs to help support her channel, and I got one because it's got a cute little pink poodle on it. And I do stir this because, again, I despise lumps. Okay, we're at about the time I would add. I don't worry about using the same spoon because they're going to get combined eventually, you know. Alright, now I'm going to put some cinnamon on there. Cinnamon's supposed to be really good for diabetics too, they say. Alright, and I don't even stir that up just now. I want that moisture from the steam to get that cinnamon, kind of dissolve it a little bit. This is boiling a little hard, so I might back down just a tiny bit. Got about a minute left on the timer. I'm going to get a couple tablespoons, and we eat with the tablespoons. I have these on the warmer. This is a warmer disc at the back of the stove back here, just so the bowls are warm so they don't get the heat of the food doesn't get sucked right into the, you know, the bowls and made cold. Make sure you guys aren't steaming too much here. We might move you over a little bit. Just in case, sorry about that. Might need to lift you up so you can see me fill the bowls here in a minute. All right, we got about 15 seconds left on the cook time. So I'll take my bowls, separate them out here a little bit. Alright. And I stir it, make sure there's nothing sticking on the bottom. And it looks really runny, but it sets up as it sits here. If you use water or cow's milk, the oatmeal reacts differently with it than almond milk, I've found, and it thickens up too much. That's one reason I love the almond milk, besides the fact it's healthier for you. Okay. All right, now remember, we've got to cut these up. Turn that heat off. We'll give them a stir to get the cinnamon on them all. And down into that juice. Okay, and I just take my knife and I just turn the pan on its side and I just cut against the side of the pan like that. I just cut them till they're light bite-sized pieces. So you're not trying to shove a whole wedge in your mouth. Just stir it around and you can see which ones need to be cut some more. Push them over to the side and cut them up. Looks pretty good. And then I just divvy these up between Scott and I. Stir it up. Make sure I get all that good cinnamon going. Mixed in there. No sugar. No, none of that. We just have the sweetness of the fruit. Now, if you want sweetness, instead of using sugar, white sugar, you could use a little bit of maple syrup or some honey, but we like them just like this and with no added refined sugars of any kind. Get all that good cinnamon stuff out of there. All right, and then we got to add our whole trilogy health seeds. And I just take a regular tablespoon and I'll make it pretty heaping full and just sprinkle it over top like that. Okay. 2 servings, loaded oatmeal. Done. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.